Hey guys, welcome back to the Sphere. Today's review is going to be on Grandia II for the Nintendo Switch. I have played this game since it was first released on the Dreamcast in 2000, and then for the PlayStation 2 in 2002, and once again for PC on Steam in 2015. Now that it's been remastered for the Switch, I'm delighted to get my hands on it again and do an in-depth review of one of my childhood games brought back to life in my adulthood. Let's get started. Graphics. Since its Dreamcast days, Grandia II has always had a charm to its look. From the main characters, to the environments, to the battle animations, I remember playing the game as a kid and being so enthralled by how amazing everything looked. Especially the cool magic animations like crackling, ba-boom, and Dragon Zap. Or special moves like White Apocalypse, Whisper to the Stars, and Fallen Wings. There are even some cinematic videos throughout the game that have been visually enhanced with this HD remaster. I also noticed as I was playing how the texture art definitely got a color enhancement. It looks more vibrant and plays much more smoothly. The HD remaster also heightens the user interface befitting our modern times. In the Dreamcast, I don't really recall many glitches, but when it came to the PlayStation 2, there was an abundance of glitches. The game would slow down, sometimes textures would just disappear, and it would be nothing but white polygons running around. On Steam, I hadn't seen too many of those glitches, but would sometimes see a couple. Never as bad as the PS2 though. Now as for the Switch, I did encounter a few hiccups, like here. You can see half of Elena's face kind of just not there. Another instance is, I remember with this magic spell that you'd be able to see rays of electricity dance around the character, and for some reason this time those rays have just disappeared. It's no big deal really. It just made me think, why? I enjoy those little details, and now it's just balls of electricity going around the character instead of this cone of despair kind of animation. Like the PS2, the game slows down a tad when showcasing cities, but it's definitely not as slow as the PS2. Other than small details like that, I have no other complaints. I'm grateful for the touch-ups, and it's still way more pros than cons in my book. Gameplay and controls. The controls have always been simple throughout each port. The standard run around towns, dungeons, and fields while conversing with people, discovering items, interacting with the environment, and attacking fiends. When it comes to interacting with people, there is a lot of dialogue to my surprise. You can speak to each individual NPC around 4 times with different dialogue each time. And it's not just a simple sentence or two. It's multiple stories, comments, and thoughts about the current situation in the game. Plus, your main cast of characters will give their own input on what the NPCs say almost every time. It's conversations among multiple people at once sometimes. It may be a bother for casual gamers who just wish to play the game for the main story and battles, and thankfully all the NPC dialogue is skippable, of course, but a few NPCs do give you an item sometimes after talking to them multiple times. For those of you who enjoy the lore of games as well as seeing the main character's personality shine, then taking advantage of all the dialogue would be an absolute treat for you. Some pros and cons. Starting with the cons, there was something I found as an inconvenience, and that was the fact that my camera settings would reset every time I started the game. I don't know why. I don't remember it doing that in the Dreamcast or even the PS2. It's no big deal, but man, is it annoying. Another thing some players might not be happy about is that there is no turbo option, which might deter some people since the animation cutscenes for all the special or magic moves cannot be skipped. And a lot of those moves are highly effective against fiends, so you will be watching these animations over and over with no turbo. I'm personally okay with it since I enjoy the animations, but others may not. As for the pros, you do have the option for normal or hard difficulty. I recall I only got to do that when I played it on Steam. Plus, there is an option for Japanese or English audio. That's a first for me since I personally never heard the Japanese voiceover work, and I'm super excited to hear that. So for those of you who only got to play the normal English version, we'll be sure to enjoy the hard Japanese version too. The star of the game is without a doubt the fantastic and unique battle system, involving magic, special moves, and regular attacks. It's your traditional turn-based RPG system but with a savory twist, which is the IP gauge. For this game, there are no random encounters. You see the enemies on the field, and it's up to you to attack them with your sword from the back, head on, or get surprised from behind. Depending which occurs, you will either start with initiative and have a tactical advantage in the IP gauge by having command way before the enemies do. Neutral if faced head-on, or at a huge disadvantage if surprised. Once the battle begins, your eyes will be mostly glued to that IP gauge to try to calculate not 1 or 2, but like 5 of your next steps to keep you and your team alive. What I appreciate so much is that you can look at what each enemy is planning to do for their next move, and depending on that is how you will act with your team to handle them all accordingly while keeping yourself afloat. It can get pretty hectic when you see over 5 enemies plowing quickly through the gauge with devastating attacks as their next move. Thankfully, there is a critical attack, or a special move that has a cancel effect to stop these attacks, but are only useful in the small space between the comm, which is command, and act, to completely cancel these attacks. But you also have to take into account the amount of space it takes for your character to get to the enemy and perform the attack, since those also take up time. You can also enhance your special move with the cancel effect to its utmost levels to have that attack perform instantly for when that boss is about to get to the act and do a fatal blow to you. It can get so intense and so addicting that sometimes I wish the battles never ended. To see for yourself what I mean, here's a short clip from one of my playthrough videos showcasing the battle system. You see, this guy's gonna attack me. He's gonna interrupt whatever I'm doing. He's not gonna cancel it, but it's gonna slow down my little head. And this guy's going, but very slowly. So you know what? I'm gonna do Tensei Ken Slash. It has a cancel effect on him. And hopefully I can still beat him, his little head, even though this guy is gonna interrupt me twice. Oh no, he's gonna interrupt me once when he hits me. So let's see how it goes. Let's see if my gamble pulls off. Come on, yes!
Tensei Ken Slash!
You see? I love that! I love this battle system, guys! Sound. Once you see the main menu of the game, you're welcomed with a melodic delight to your ears as you experience just a hint of the music that constitutes the gem that is Grandia II. The music, composed by Noriyuki Iwadare, will make you feel all kinds of emotions. I remember I'd pop in the CD of the original soundtrack on my Walkman, put on my headphones, and jam out to bouncy hits like then rock out to and then sit outside and listen to one of the main songs just pierce my being with its soothing vocals and think about the fact that it's relevant and important throughout the game because of this exact feeling it gives me. When in game, man oh man are they a blast to listen to. Each city has its own wonderful tune. The battles are that much more exciting with the rock music happening while you're swinging swords, shooting arrows, and casting magic. And don't get me started on the music during boss battles. I recall starting a game from the beginning just to hear those jams. The voice acting is another absolute plus for this game. They went all out with well-known voice actors and actresses that you have most likely heard in many other numerous games and shows. Their work sounds very lifelike. I wish the whole game had voiceover, to be honest, but the important parts we do get are done top-notch, since you can feel the intensity and emotion from every line delivered by these talented artists.
This feels so good. I feel so free, so filled with power. Oh, I feel excellent.
Story. The story follows a geohound, which is like a mercenary, named Ryudo. He's a snarky and skeptic smartass who consistently has some sort of rebuttal that will almost always give you a laugh. He's a no BS kind of dude with absolutely no filter, just trying to make a buck. But once he gets what seems to be a simple job request from the church to be a temporary bodyguard for a songstress, his whole world as he knows it is turned upside down. Throughout the game, you see the world through Ryudo's eyes, trying to figure out exactly what the hell is going on below the surface. Which is fascinating, since Ryudo is someone who cares not for religion or people in general, which of course makes his dialogue that much more intriguing. Along the way, you do get to meet many interesting characters with their own stories that are affected by the main antagonist in the game, therefore having their own reasons for seeking retribution against the villain. They are a diverse group of individuals who have unexpected backgrounds and you absolutely come to care for. Something else that always brings me back to this game other than the battle system is the dialogue. It's full of character and life. Even though the characters are completely different from you and me, they are still somewhat relatable in how they react to their situations and each other. Something completely optional like spending the night at inns at different towns will reward you with a unique dinner conversation waiting for you to enjoy. I love seeing their personalities clash and mesh with one another on the dinner table when they can be the complete opposites of one another. This is a point A to point B kind of game. There are no side quests, just the main story with the optional conversations and addicting battle system. For those of you who enjoy a no BS kind of game like I believe Ryudo would, this game is perfect for you. If you like to know more about the lore and characters, there are books, people, conversations, and more for you to explore that are completely optional. There is a way of playing for everyone here. Plus, you do not need to play the first Grandia game to enjoy Grandia II. They are both standalone stories, much like Final Fantasy. Overall, Grandia II has always been one of the most praised games that the Dreamcast has to offer. And now, almost 2 decades later, it still holds up as one of the best JRPGs around that no one who's played the game can seem to forget. Now, to play Grandia II for the Switch, you would have to purchase the Grandia HD Collection, which includes the first Grandia game as well. So you would have to dish out $40 for both games. Now, many would say that is a steep price for 2 old school games when a brand new game nowadays is $20 more. So, although there are some inconveniences, small glitches here and there, these cons do not overtake the fun you will have with the battle system and story. This game has stood the test of time for almost 20 years, and now the current generation can finally enjoy the game docked or handheld. So it is completely up to you if you think it's worth the buy now, like I did, or wait till the price is lowered in the future. Okay, so as for the final score, I give Grandia II a 9 out of 10. I recommend it for anyone that enjoyed the previous Grandia game, or games such as Trails of Cold Steel, Skies of Arcadia, or Dragon Quest. If you guys want to see footage of me playing this game with commentary, feel free to visit our other channel, Nev Plays, where you can see our playthroughs of various games we happen to be playing. The link will be in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a like if you enjoyed it, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to this channel for more reviews of all old and new. Janet!